Come on, young fella. Talk that talk so we can walk that walk. What's going on, IG? It is your man, Tony the Tycoon, and we are now live. Man, we got a special guest coming in for Gridiron Games. This is episode 36. I got to get my man on. Hold on real quick. Let me get my guy in. All right, big dog. All you got to do is accept the invite, and we better to rock and roll. Yes, Lord. Look at this. This is a handsome young man, brother. Yes,
Well,
sir.
stop it. Stop it. I ain't 19 or 21 no more. That's
I
father
love
time.
it. I love it. I love it. I love
Father
it.
time don't play with nobody.
Come on now. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Let's go, man. It's good to
So,
see you, man. It's good to see you.
same man. I ain't saying my brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I wish
Absolutely.
them. With them boys and them Texans can be in the damn Super Bowl, so we can, it can both teams, say that we play for be in that thing.
You feel me? Listen, can we, and you know what? We get them free tickets too, man. Can we get them free tickets? You know what I'm saying?
Preach.
Hey, man. Well, listen, for all those that don't know, you live under a rock. I have the amazing Mr. Amobi Okoye. Y'all might know him because of, a couple of things, right? Drafted first round, youngest player ever drafted. That's cool. That's the football stuff. But what you don't know is the things that I know because this is my brother. Amazing man, amazing friend, a philanthropist, an amazing father to a beautiful young daughter. Man, listen, brother, welcome to Gridiron Games, man. We are happy to have you. And I'll just give you a little bit of insight on what this is. Gridiron Games is a show from an athlete's perspective about athletes. And man, we dive into a little bit of everything. So we'll talk about the game. We'll talk about, transition. We'll talk about the background journey. We'll talk about finances a little bit. We'll jump into the power of transition. That's where I'm carrying the flag, man. And so I'm so honored that you took the time to jump on with us because the information that you are going to give people today, man, is going to help a lot of these athletes to understand what's really behind the golden curtain, man, of individuals that's thinking that they want to get into this football space. So with that being said, Amobi, Mr. Amobi Okoye,
Yes,
man,
sir.
I want to ask you something, man. Your journey from Nigeria to the NFL is nothing short of remarkable. Man, could you share some personal experiences from your early life in Anambra State, Nigeria? I hope I say that right, man. I've been working on it.
Yeah,
Anambra State,
yeah.
and then
You my boy.
elevate me on how to say it right, man. But just give us a little bit about your journey from Anambra State to the U.S., man, and that background.
Yes, so yeah, Anambra is where I'm from where my dad's from. Where I'm from, it's like the geographically wise, or not really geographically, but to compare it, it would be like being from Alabama, where I moved to when I moved from Nigeria.
Yeah, yeah.
But I grew up in Lagos, which is kind of like the New York of Africa. Really, they call it like it's everybody's hustling and it's fast paced. And so moved here to Alabama when I was 12 from Nigeria, and the depiction you get back home when I saw of America was the majority of what they showed you was the New York, the big the big city. So when I got to Alabama, I was like, hold on, this is America. But it was perfect, bro. It was perfect. No, the trouble that we could have got into in bigger cities is nothing compared to what we got into in Alabama. So it worked out perfect. Went to high school there. Got a scholarship from Louisville. Went to play ball in Louisville, and got drafted by the Texans. And Houston has been home ever since then, man.
Man, first and foremost, my man goes from Nigeria. Out of all the states he could have picked, this brother picked Alabama. Knows how to party. Man, what went into the thought process for your parents, man, moving to Alabama? What was the thought process behind that?
Well, look, it was my dad's my uncle. My dad actually initially first moved here and went to school here in Houston and at Texas A&M and Prairie View.
Nice.
That's why when the Texans drafted me, I don't know if everybody's seen the video. My dad was the most stoked about everybody. He's like, I'm going back home.
Yeah.
So when he first moved to the U.S. to school and all, Houston was his base. And so when he moved back to Nigeria, and my mom had us, he wanted to come back to when he moved to the U.S. wanted to move back to Houston, but his brother had moved to Alabama, so obviously he wanted to move to where family is at. So that's how Alabama ended up being where we moved to at first.
And you had an interesting move because like it's not like you're moving to the States as a young child, man. You're getting ready, right? You're a preteen at this point, right? I think you moved when you were
Right,
12 maybe.
yeah, right at 12,
Okay.
man, and so and the whole way the being advanced thing happened was my mom when she had us when she had me in Nigeria, she was a principal of a school, and after her leave and everything, and she couldn't find real trustworthy people to take care of me while she would go to work. She would just drag me along to work with her, and I just started enrolling in, and that's how I started early. And then in Nigeria, to go from elementary to middle school, you got to take what they call an entrance exam, and you need to take it in the fourth. Middle school stops in the sixth grade here. There, I think it's fifth grade here. I'm not sure. Anyways, I took mine in the fifth grade, and I made good enough scores to where I didn't have to go to sixth grade and skip the sixth and go to the seventh, and that's how I was able to be advanced 2.5 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, because when you got here, man, you advanced extremely quickly uh, through the education system here in the States, man. And obviously, we see mom. We learned a little bit about the background. Mom was an educator, so she ain't play about them books. You understand? Them books
Hey,
meant.
I hug the grandkids get it
Yeah.
now. She doing the same thing she did to us. Get
That boy,
this, hug
that
the
boy said,
tail.
"Whoo!" Now I don't have to worry. That's y'all. Hey, y'all turn now, baby. I
Yes,
love it.
indeed. Yeah, nah, but it worked out perfect, man. Because I don't know, what other state or place that we would move to, and I mean, when they were enrolling us in classes, I kind of like stood my ground because I was like, I'm not leaving this school until I'm enrolled. You're not going to separate me from my brothers and sisters, and I'm not about to be calling back home. I just moved to America and I got demoted.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
I was being stubborn. I told my dad, I'm not going back with you guys until until they enroll me in these classes. So my dad told the principal, was like, okay, we got to work something out because he's refusing to let go. So she's like, okay, we'll keep him here for two
Yep.
weeks, put him in some classes. Depends on how he performs. He stays or
Hmm.
goes. Man, they put me in classes that I already took in Nigeria. I was like, fair enough.
Yeah. Listen,
and
if there's one thing that you wasn't gonna have to worry about, bro, is the educational system here in America. Like we are far behind in everybody around the country. So
and
you wasn't gonna have to worry about that.
after my assessment of going through it, I think the it's just two different ways of educating. I don't think either or is better than the other. It's
Mm.
just I just think it's just two different ways. I think I want to say it's more so of how the learning is about how in the eastern world part of the world to me, and I think the western part of the world is like why,
Yeah.
of explaining of explaining education in every aspect, not just math, science, history, and everything. That's what I took from it.
Got you. Yeah, I saw. Man, I wish I could. And it's shame on me, man, because I watched the video maybe a couple of times. But the young girl, man, she was in a math competition, and from Africa. I don't
Mhm.
remember what quite part that she was from. Either way, I was I was amazed, bro, with how quickly this sister was spitting out these answers with these complicated math, theories and things like
Mhm.
that. I mean, bro, like the man couldn't even finish the question before she was given the answer. And I'm just like, when you look at Africa and when you look at China, man, the mathematics system, because a lot of times, and this is just from my own experience, right? So pardon my ignorance if I don't know. I mean, your coach, this is your culture, so you'll be able to enlighten me. But when it comes to things that are implemented in the math, the engineering and the sciences, man, those two regions, man, dominate those spaces, man. And so I'm just saying there has to be something to that, to the way that it's taught there versus how it's taught here,
Yeah.
because we just don't see that a lot here.
Facts. Facts. And I mean, after a while, like I said, after my assessment, I think it's all just all different ways in how the individual responds to teaching, and from I guess experience and time, the Western part of the world has found out that this way works better for the Western kids, and this way works better for Eastern kids. So
Yeah.
yeah, both works.
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out for sure. Well, look, man. So obviously you get here, man. You find the game of football, man. So let me ask you. I got a two-part question. Who are the key figures in your life as it pertains to your life elevation, right?
Hmm.
So all the things that you learn just from skill sets about life and how you want to be and conduct yourself and things like that in Nigeria, but then also who was from a sports perspective in the States,
Hmm.
right? Who was the person that you looked after and said, man, I like the way that this guy does what he does, man, and helped you on your path.
Um, I think it was a variety of people, but as far as and back home in Nigeria, my parents were, and even after I moved there, have always been my heroes. They've been the ones that drive me to want to, just better myself, my siblings, my parents for sure. Then when it comes to the sports aspect of it, my coaches in high school, they were the ones that really pushed me. And yeah, there's stories out there about how they told me to go play Madden to understand football.
My man had to get a virtual lesson.
And sure
So
enough,
you
I
were the
did.
first Jaden Daniels. You was the first Jaden Daniels, man. Looking at the game from a virtual
But
perspective and then
perspective,
going out there and dominate. All right.
which that's really how it helped out. And then it's just that, and there's just this combination of challenges from one of my best friends to today. Then just yeah, it was a combination of all of that that really pushed me, to want to be better.
So let me ask you this: were you familiar with the game of football prior to moving to the States?
Dude, I think I saw it once or twice in Nigeria, and it's like, why are they jumping at each other? It doesn't make any sense.
So,
What is this? Because growing up, soccer, track and field, that
yeah,
was what we knew. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I played soccer growing up, like with no shoes and everything. It was that's how I would get down. Ran track and field with no shoes and everything. And so yeah, I think I saw like once or twice in Nigeria, and I was like, why are they jumping at each other?
Yeah, now, if you just look at it from the outside in, it does look like a bunch of people running around beating each other up as hard as possible for this object, this obstruct ball, right?
But once you
And
understand
crossing
it, though,
lines,
once you
crossing
under
lines and scoring points. Yeah,
once you understand it though, it's really addicting.
yeah, it is.
I
That's what I was gonna ask you, because so you didn't start playing. So Lee High School, shout out to
yep,
Lee High School,
yep.
but you didn't start playing until about your sophomore year. So what really drew you to the sport?
So like I said, growing up on soccer, track and field was what I was doing in Nigeria for elementary school, middle school. Then when I got here, let's be honest, the food we eat here is much different than what we eat. Like, I get it. It's in down
Yep.
now. So I started getting very, very. I was already big. I was bigger than most of my peers, but I was pumping up. And so I needed to do something to just to get back in exercise. So I signed up for indoor track and field, which the head coach, the head football coach, was was the head coach for the track team, and that's how I just started exercising, and then I found out I could get a scholarship from it too. I was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm trying to help my parents out. I'm going to pay for the scholarship, and that was what intrigued my parents the most from me, because Nigerian parents, at first they were like, "This dangerous sport. I don't know."
Yeah. Then you hit them with, Mom, they pay for my school and you don't have to pay no money. Oh.
Yeah, and then when I got a letter of interest offer from
Yeah.
Harvard,
Oh.
and my dad was like, Amobi, this is Harvard. This is Harvard. But that football, I don't care about that football program. This is Harvard.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Dad was hype, man. Like, look here, I'm about to have a Harvard graduate. He, he was already planning your life before you did.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's interesting, man. Obviously, you go on. First of all, shoot, what 13 in high school, I believe.
Yep.
13, 14, and 15. I mean, this is crazy. Let's talk about that a little bit, bro. Like, you know, the 13-year-olds and the 15, 16 to 18-year-olds, we talking about two totally different things around here. So
Yeah.
like, how was the socio aspect, right? The sociological aspect. How did that affect you as a 13-year-old kid being around,
Older.
guys that are getting ready to be, young
Mhm.
adults, so to speak?
I think that was all attributed to my brother's 2.5 years, 22 months older than me, and so I've always wanted, been from birth, wanted to. I didn't see him as older than me. I was thought I was doing things at his age,
Yeah.
wanted to do things at his age. When my parents would send him to go to the store get stuff, I would get mad at him like, well, why not me? I can do it too. So that was what always made. I think I never saw my other brother as my older brother. I saw him as like a twin or something. And so
Yeah.
that's what always made me want to be doing things at his age as opposed to my age.
You saw
So that's
you saw him as your equal, not your older brother, but as your equal. Like we the same.
right,
Yeah. Okay.
right. And
Yeah, I got
that was what pushed me a lot because I just felt like we weren't. He wasn't older than me. I was his age. Because our parents would always have us be around each other a lot,
you. Yeah.
and yeah,
What's the age difference between y'all two?
exactly 22 months.
That's why. That's funny. That's how my older two are, man. They're 20 months apart. Yep.
Right. You see what I'm saying? So it's like it's like the older ones always feel like, I mean, the younger ones, like I said, always feel like, nah, I'm the same age as you.
Yeah, yeah. Like you listen, if you can do it, I can do it. It's like you can. He just got a 20-month head start on you, bro. So and biology, he's a little stronger than you right now. That might change, but right now that's where we at, right? So that makes
Like,
sense, man. That makes sense. So let me ask you this, man, because your father was all excited about Harvard. I'm
mhm.
pretty sure your mom was all excited about Harvard. You're a standout. You're a standout at Lee High School, but Harvard wasn't the place that we chose, man. What went into the decision when you got the letter from the Louisville Cardinals? I believe that's their
Mhm.
mascot. You got the letter, the scholarship from the Louisville Cardinals. What made you say, I'd rather go to Louisville and do my football thing than go to this prestigious university to where even if I don't make it to the league, I'm still making league money as
But
soon as I walk out of this
right,
door. Right? What
it,
how does that what's the mentality on that? And I
yeah.
know hold on, tell me what dad said when you said, yeah, dad, I ain't doing Harvard, I'm doing Louisville. And I need all of the accent because I know you went in. I know you went in.
Well, my dad's his parenting has kind of always been like, I'm gonna give you all the advice and like that I think and he still does today, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be your decision. So you're gonna have to live with it. So I'm gonna advise you, but I don't make the decision based on me. Like
That's beautiful.
it's your decision. And that way you live with it and you deal with it however it turns out. And so, yeah, they were the way Louisville actually ended up working with, because my high school, we would go to a full contact camp there in the summer. We went 3 years in a row. We had kids that were supposed to go to summer school miss summer school because they didn't want to miss the camp. Because it's this time where we're away from our families, just us as the boys and football and just and so that was one of the factors that made me decide to go there, because I got familiar with going there to camp 3 years in a row. Then they have a good. I wanted to do medicine. I still haven't ruled that out because if people become presidents in their 70s, aka Trump and Biden,
Yep. Yep.
what says that I can become a doctor in my 50s, 60s, 70s?
Yep.
So I haven't ruled that completely out. So the medical program, the fact that we went to there for camp a couple of years, and then it's even though even to today, kids when they're going to school, a lot of them is this whole thing about going out of state. That way you're away from your family and da 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 da. Is that Louisville was only 3.5, 4 hours away from Huntsville, because Huntsville is in North Alabama. So it was like I was going out of state, but I was still
Close.
not that far, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So all those three made the check mark, and yeah, I decided that's what. Because even though we get like we get 5 official visits
Yep.
when you've been recruiting. 3 of those visits actually, because obviously Mississippi is close to Alabama. I and my high school coaches, they had some affiliations with like a lot of the Mississippi schools. So 3 of those visits I actually took to Ole Miss, Mississippi State, and Southern Miss. And my mom was like, we had just moved to Alabama. She's been finding out about history. She's like, son, you know we already live in Alabama. I don't know if I want you to go to Mississippi.
They've made plenty of depictions about Mississippi.
And
Absolutely. I have a friend of mine, Miss E. I call her E.
uh-huh.
She's from Mississippi. You know, Alicia. She's from
Uh-huh.
Mississippi. She
Uh-huh.
swear by it. She swear by it. I'm just like, ah. Look, look, and I can't talk. We in Texas. Texas has their thing, right? I
You know
mean,
what I'm saying?
they
Exactly.
the Texas like quiet as kept. Texas was like, they got that letter late. They was like, we just gonna tuck this in. Don't let nobody know about it. Yo, like, hey, y'all ain't got to do this no more. Really? You sure about that? Yes, it's been going on for about a decade here. So I can't say too much about Texas, but I mean, look, man. At the
Hey,
end
by
of
the
the day,
way, I was rooting for Texas in the college championship, bro.
come on, man.
I
We
was
was close. We were
yeah.
close. You know what? To kind of swing into that a little bit, I knew he had a chance defensively, but it's been our Achilles heel all year, man. Offensively, we're inconsistent. Very
He was chose the wrong game to
to
not
be
show up.
inconsistent. To
Yeah,
be inconsistent, absolutely. And there was lows too, man. There was things that when you play good on good, man. The teams that make that one play, that's the ones
it's the
that
one
advance.
that went. Yep,
Exactly. But will say this. I will say this. At the end of the day, we lost to the national champions. So if we got to hang our hat on something and talk about, because honest quiet is kept, Texas is only 2 years into their dominance. Like
exactly.
the first year we were 5-7, the second year we were 8-5, and then the year before CFP we lost to Washington, and then this year we lost to the national champions. So my thing is keep beating on the door. You only
Mm-hmm.
gonna win a natty if you keep
Mm-hmm.
showing up to them stages.
Eventually, you're gonna bust it open. Yep.
Exactly. So we got the #1 recruiting class this year. Excited about that. Justin
I believe
Terry.
I believe in
Yes,
Arch.
I think that is going to be definitely a difference maker. He comes from a winning pedigree, Super Bowl champions, Hall of Famers,
I
the whole
kid you
nine.
not. I was a little upset. I thought he should have got a little more plays in that championship, man. I think it could have made
I
a difference.
I know he could. And I think that as Sark sits back, because this is the thing too. I say, Amobi, as much as great and as explosive as Texas is, they're still a team that's growing as it pertains to being in the prominent spotlight and winning. As much success as Sarkisian has had, he's still growing and understanding from a
That's
head
the word I was
coach's
about to say.
position.
Growth. That
Yeah,
that, that growth is happening. I'm so excited for what this next year going to be.
man. I'm telling you, Texas is going to be, listen, I'm not just talking about the university. I'm talking about the state. If you are in anything college sports related from a business or philanthropy or foundational standpoint, you want Texas to be good because everybody's shelling out money for anything
True.
around that, man. So
Very true.
absolutely. Well, look, man, since you dove into the segment of football, dude, you go to Louisville, man. Give us some insight on. So it's interesting. So if everybody missed that, man, your man Amobi could have been a Mississippi Bulldog, Mississippi State Bulldog, right? So,
Yeah.
but you go to Louisville, man. Give me your insight when you step onto a college campus for the first time. What is that feeling like? What is the thought process like?
Oh man, it's like we here. It's a goal of yours, and it's a goal of that you want to accomplish and make the family
Yeah,
proud,
yeah,
and then getting to play ball too at the same time. And the whole thing was I wanted to play as a true freshman, and Bobby Petrino, the coach, then he had told the media, Well, yeah, until it's he's not going to play me until I'm able to shave. And then I proved on the field that I was worth, I could play. He said, "Yeah, I went and bought him a shaving stick."
Yeah. You know what? We're going to talk this tough coach talk with this young kid here, this 16-year, 17-year-old. Yeah, we'll see after 2 practices. Yeah, so Moby, we need to we're going to run this defense around you. Need you to get some sacks. Coaches are
It
funny.
was good.
Coaches are funny, man.
Oh yeah. They even much funnier now. Just, whew, with this NIL and all, there's no loyalty. They be in and out.
Man, talking about NIL, bro. How much do you think you would have made? And
Bruh.
yeah. Come on.
Bruh. I mean, every time I see all these NIL deals going, and I was like,
Man,
only if, man, we play, boy. Whew.
they told me. I asked a good buddy of mine. He's a scout. He's been a scout for like 2 decades, man. Scouting
Mm.
high school kids and calling them out to where they're going to go and what they'll do professional. Like it's part of Rivals magazine. So all this star systems that people go off of, 3-star, 4-star,
He,
him and his buddy,
he
they create.
created.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So I asked him, I said, well, let me ask you a question, man, just out of curiosity. Like, based off of my rating and everything when I was in high school, what would I have made? He said, Tony, he said, you probably would have made more money in college than you did in the NFL. And
Easy.
I just looked at him with that glory tear in Denzel had. but
Facts.
but I will say this: there's a catch-22 because the kids today, man, don't understand the hunger of wanting to get to the next level.
Exactly. They all think they it's like it's saturating in the sense that they just is like what's the most NIL I can get instead
Yep.
of how can I develop myself to be a real good player and go show what I'm worth in this league. It's a gift and a curse.
It is. It is. I like the fact that they're able to shift and change their family's financial picture.
Right.
I like that, but at the same time, it's a catch-22 because if you don't have the people around you that can help you to be able to manage that in all aspects,
You're
right? And not
yeah,
just your finance, but also your family, right?
yeah.
So it's the finances, the family, but then all of that is predicated on football. So it's the 3 Fs. So you got to be out there balling in order to do that. And if you're not doing that, if you're not balling, man, you're not going to get paid. And I think these kids, they're starting to see it a little bit, but like I know a lot of times when I'm talking to my guys that are in that space, my scouts and coaches and stuff, they're
Right.
just like, they're always talking about, what you gonna pay me. But Sark got them like, look, man, at the end of the day, we're Texas. If you come here and show you can ball, we're gonna take
You
care of
don't
you.
think
But yeah, but
that's the thing. These kids are not starting like they losing focus now. Play ball and it's gonna come. Don't
yeah.
expect it to come before I even ball it.
I, they and they find that out. They find that out later. But speaking of later, man, as you matriculate through the college ranks, man, obviously you dominate and you dominate to the tune of being, drafted first round by the Houston Texans at 19 years old, man. Like I don't think. I mean, can you reflect on that now and understand like how everybody on the outside world looked
Look,
at this and was like, how in the world is this possible?
yeah,
Like, bro, at 19, bro,
I,
I'm not gonna put myself on blast on what I was doing at 19, but it wasn't getting drafted. I'll tell you that much.
for me, I understand it and see it more now after getting them playing.
Yeah,
Because when I was playing and when it was happening, it was for me it was what I'm supposed to be doing. It's natural.
yeah,
But after you get done playing, you really reflect on anything about it. You're like, that was kind of a little bit impressive.
yeah, very. Yeah, very. But I also know that with that type of prestige, man, there comes expectations. And so what were some of the challenges of those expectations that you faced entering the league, with the Houston Texans? Because they're an expansion team, so they're still building, they
Oh
haven't
yeah.
been that long, even when you were drafted.
No, yeah, it was all about just winning
Yeah.
and doing my best to be to play good and contribute and be a factor in the team, and so yeah, that was always my driving focus, and of course distractions at that age definitely
Yeah.
came.
Yeah.
It's those one. It's just one of the things just coming. You just have to surround yourself with good people and at least what you think is good people and faith, man,
Yes.
faith,
Absolutely.
huge.
Absolutely. Talk about it for sure. Gotta have that, bro. If you don't have faith and belief, you're not gonna make it. I've seen so many guys way talented than me, way talented than even you, man. I mean, guys that's just like we had to work to get to where we at. These guys, I've seen guys go in the weight room, look at it, and walk out and go out on the football field and do some amazing things, right?
Right.
But when that adversity hits that they've never really faced before, they don't really have the tool set or the mentality to overcome that, and then you start to see them tank. So I understand what you're saying from a standpoint of belief and faith, because we're in an alpha sport, man. You know, whether it's the coaches or, you know, it's your own teammates from time to time, man, they're gonna check and see if you got something about you. And
Facts.
if you don't, then there's a label that's gonna be put upon you that you really don't work. It's that tissue paper. You don't want that.
Exactly.
You don't want
Man,
that.
I was just thinking about when we was with the Cowboys, that was a death catch, man. They robbed us,
Yeah,
man.
they
They
did.
robbed us, dog.
Yeah, they did. To this day. And then change the rules. I'm like, bro, y'all be waiting till it's too late
Too
to do
late.
things. Like to just, even if, and to that point, man, even if we go to the NFC Championship in Seattle, I believe we win because we already played them and beat them before.
Exactly.
But even if we go up there and let's just say it doesn't go our way, just to know that we would have been the team since '96 to even just get that
That
far
far.
puts us in rare air. And I live here in Dallas, so I need that air.
You
I
know what
need all that air I
I'm
can
saying?
get.
The refs got us on
They
that
did.
one, man. They definitely got us on that
Well,
one.
that's actually a good segue, man, because the next question I wanted to ask you was like, if you're reflecting on your NFL career, and I know you had stints, we talk about us being teammates with the Dallas Cowboys, but you also was in Tampa and also in Chicago, man. Are there any like particular moments or like achievements that stand out to you now that you're retired and you're able to kind of reflect?
Um, with the Texans, I would say my rookie year, second Peyton Manning.
Oh,
That was pretty. That was yeah. That was pretty good. Um, then man, I would just have to say playing for Levy,
mm,
in Chicago, man. That was fun. That was fun. He's him and I'll say him and Kubiak were hands down best two head coaches I had playing in the league, and of course Kubiak, for drafting me for sure. Um, but what else? Yeah. The camaraderie and the coaching were the two factors that I really enjoyed with both teams. Heck, even in Dallas, yeah, that was. Even though I didn't get to play because I was recovering from the illness,
yep.
but the camaraderie with the guys and having Marinelli again as my defensive line coach, hands down best defensive line coach I had. This him and him and Lovey, especially his mantra was, coach the man first, then the player.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah, love it. Players coach, man. Shout out to Lovey, man. For me in Pittsburgh, I had Coach Tomlin, by far the best head coach I've ever had.
that's one I wished I would have had
Uh,
an opportunity to play for
uh,
too.
man,
What's his name? My teammate in college, Will Gay. He was
yeah, I remember the
yeah,
game.
big play Will. Yeah,
Mr. Florida himself, man. That brother, that
yeah,
brother did that bobblehead dance, bro. That was his thing.
that
Hey,
Tallahassee
he
dance.
doing this thing in Washington too, man.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, yeah.
yeah. I'm proud of him,
Yeah.
man. I'm really proud of him.
Yeah, man. Well, that's you brought it up, man. So I do want to dive into it because I think that a lot of people look at the glitz and glamours of the game and they look at all of the things that the game can bring to them as it pertains to, there's fame and there's fortune and there's joy to be able to take care of family and just you're able to move out of situations of struggle, right? But then also there's a thing called life. And we can have a thought process on how we believe our career is going to go and how we believe our life is going to go.
But it
And then
never
one thing,
doesn't pan out that way.
it doesn't, right? And so that's why I kind of want you to touch on this, man. You had to overcome something that I know that's very rare that a lot of people might not even know about. So I would love for you to share. Like in 2013,
hmm
you were fighting for not just a roster spot, brother. You were fighting for your life,
Life.
man.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
with
It's
was it encephalitis, I believe it was.
encephalitis. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the brain illness is called autoimmune encephalitis, and what happened was a virus within my own system was attacking my brain receptors, and it's very rare illness. I was the first adult male athlete to have it. That's why they couldn't figure out what it was,
Mm.
and then put me in an induced coma. I was in an alias name. I still get letters for it as Anthony Oakland, and yeah, it's March 15th of 2013 is the exact date the first onset happened. And from March 15th of 2013 to August 7th of 2013, that was the roughest period of the illness when I had to be put in an induced coma, and then I finally figured out it was the anti-NMDA autoimmune encephalitis. The way I'm talking with you right now, I was talking with my dad and one of my best friends from college. We had just got done training. It was off season. I just got done the season with the Bears. Training hard, trying to sign, another with another team. Hopefully, actually, it's going to be the Cowboys because that's when Marinelli had just got the defensive coordinator job there from Chicago, and then sorry, then he found out about the illness, and he was like, well, whenever he's cleared and beats it, I want him to come play for me. And so, yeah, it was, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, put it that way. But, like I said, God doesn't put you through anything he doesn't think you can handle.
Amen.
And so, yeah, I just, um, 20, 23 marked the 10-year anniversary of it. When I saw the same doctor that diagnosed the illness from me, did like a 10-year follow up. And, the way it happened, it never happens again.
Amen.
Because, like I said, I was just, right now, this is where I'm talking with you and my dad and my best friend. And next thing I know, it's August 7th, and they're telling me that I had several seizures and I had foamed out of the mouth and yada yada yada. I'm like, I thought it was still March 15th. I told the nurse at the time, like, no, it's I had the BlackBerry then. She went and brought my BlackBerry, and I saw it on there. It said August 7th, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, baby. You went through a lot." And yeah, yeah.
Wow. You spent 145, I believe. Was it
Okay.
145 days?
hmm I
Dude, like,
was lost like almost 100 pounds and
wow.
had to learn ABCs, one, two, like all of that back again. Like,
That
yeah,
that is so, man, that is so intriguing. And here's the reason why. Because you talked about it being in a brain attacking disease. The thing that I find interesting is that in that, not only were you attacked physically, right? You talk about losing 100 pounds and having to learn to walk, and then, but now you're attacked mentally, which that is also a strong suit. Your
that
physical,
was the mental part probably was harder than the physical because
yeah,
as a former pro athlete, the physical aspect like it comes back because naturally in a sense because you kind of you've been through like as a pro athlete and just athlete in general. But the mental part was probably was the hardest because I had to do all kind of therapy. Name the therapy I did it. Occupational speech. Yeah.
every.
Yeah, all,
Well, the thing is that you go from being offered not just off of your sports, but also your academia, man, your academia prowess from Harvard to now having to learn simplistic things. Like, talk about that mental like struggle that you had to deal with, and then what were the things that allowed you to get over the hump and say, you know what, I'm going to attack this the same way that I attack this sport and get back to being who I know I am. I'm not going to allow this to defeat me. What was that? Can you let the people know?
I wouldn't even lie. I wasn't quite denial at first. Like I couldn't believe like I was going through what I was going through. Like it took a while for me to finally like really accept it. And so after I did, or as I was accepting it, I was just transitioning to a full thought. I'm about to get better than I ever
Yeah,
was, and I'm still working on it.
yeah.
It's a life thing, and every day I'm just trying to get better.
Love that, man. Well, listen, the reason why I'm so, and I appreciate you sharing with that, brother. I really do, because we never know what people are going through. And a lot of times we'll see things that's happening and we'll say something, we'll say this, we'll say, man, why is this happening to me? And I think that if we shift the perspective and say, Lord, why are you allowing this to happen for me? Then it allows us to be able to understand who God wants us to serve based off of what
Oh,
we're about to do, right?
it,
Because your mentality is, I'm going to come back better than I ever been. Some people don't have that, Amobi, and so to be able to hear you say that, they can say, well, listen, this man was a first round, the youngest pick ever. He's sacking Peyton Manning. He's making millions of dollars in the league, and he went through this, and he said he's going to come back. You know
better
what?
than
I can do it too. So by you humanizing, and what it does is it humanizes us as athletes, because, bro, we're the modern day gladiators. Like, people
hmm
look at us and think that we can't be broken, and that's just not true. Like, we're men, right? Just like everybody else out here, like any other man. We're men just like them, and we
exactly.
affected. Exactly. So I definitely appreciate you sharing that with me, man. And so you get to Dallas, we're fighting back, but then obviously we find out that, hey, look, man, it's not working the way that I want it to work. It's time to do something else. And that's that transitional phase. Like, the game leaves us all at some point.
Oh yeah, of
You know what
course.
I mean?
And my thing is as long as you try, then you won't never have that regret that
Yes.
you give it a try, and whatever the results is, you live with it.
I love that.
But you don't want to never say I never actually even gave it a try, an opportunity, and live with that regret.
I love that. You're right. And that's, I tell people all the time, the richest place in the world is the graveyard, because that's where so many people didn't accomplish their purpose based off of whatever narrative they were telling
Like,
themselves, man.
like that.
So you transitioned from professional sports. You've gone through your health challenges, which we knew, that was daunting, right? But you have this transitional period. Talk to us about how you navigated that. Football is over, and I'm moving into a different part of my life. What was that process like?
For me, I think I have an 8-year-old daughter now. I think having her helped with that as well.
Awesome.
Just always
Oh, there's no way I
you
want
know
to say I have an 80-year-old daughter. I got a 4-year-old daughter. She's gonna be 4 forever. Jesus, he said 8. She's 2 times as old as mine. I'm not ready. My bad. That was
no,
that was in my mind.
I
They
already
don't
know.
see this, but
Hey,
all the dads feel me.
and they grow very fast.
Oh,
That is very, very true.
oh,
So that I think having her, because I'm one of four, and I've always wanted, like, when I said I was going to have 4 kids eventually when it's all done. But now that I have just one might be good enough for me. We never
I
know. We
understand.
never know. But having her helped with really just the whole, dealing with the illness and transition, and it's never over. The
Mm,
transition is never over. That thing is going to keep on going until you're 60 under, in my opinion.
yeah,
And so just work in progress, man. I got the foundation stuff going, still working on and continue to do that. I have a farm back home in Nigeria that my dad oversees. That I'm an ambassador with the Texans now. Officially made me became an ambassador with them this past season.
nice.
So doing that, and the parenting, that's always busy.
No, yeah, oh, that'll definitely keep you busy, man. And that's funny, because I was going to ask you, like, what are the new passions and the ventures that you are pursuing? So I'm glad that you talked about that with the foundation, man. Ambassador with the Houston Texans, bro. Like, that is freaking phenomenal, man. Tell us about what does that entail? What does that look like? And then also, how did that come about?
That's pretty much as for all the teams, and especially Texans being the obviously the youngest franchise in the league, they've done a good job in stepping up to, because I'm part of also the Bears Legends group, and just seeing what the Texans are doing and trying to just keep on elevating the organization from all aspects, current and to former players. It's been a good job. So it entails with doing a lot of community appearances and promoting the brand, and every time doing anything, just representing the organization in a positive
I
way.
love that, man. And I would say this, just to throw a plug out there for you, is like, if there are any Houston Texans players in Houston right now, y'all need to get with this brother, because there's opportunities that he might be able to provide for you while you're sitting up there trying to figure it out. A good buddy of mine, Ed Butowski, he's the reason why the 30 for 30 documentary Broke came out. It was his work that they took, and then they made that documentary for us. So he actually works with us with a company that I'm a part of called the Athlete Alliance. I'm a trustee member of it. And so in that, he talks about one of the reasons why athletes have problems, not just economically, but just the life transition aspect, is because there's a lull period to where they don't know what to do, as opposed to being able to figure out what they want to do prior to, you know, them coming out of the league. And so one of the things that I know that we have to do a better job of as athletes is tapping into, excuse me, is tapping into the resources like yourself. I mean, you're an ambassador for the team. If you play for the Texans, I don't care if you were a practice squad guy, 2-year guy, 10-year guy, doesn't matter.
Right.
That's an organization that wants to give back and help you. Dive into that and figure out where they can give you opportunities from, man. So I need people to do that. And that goes into some of the things that you do, because you're talking about giving your time. And one of the things that I know just from talking to you, and then people can, you know, they can do their own research, but man, talk about, and this is going to make you smile when I say it, the Amobi Okoye Foundation, man. Talk to
Yes,
us.
sir.
Talk to us about that. How did that come about, and what is the objective of the Amobi Okoye Foundation?
All right. So yeah, the foundation I started as soon as I got into the NFL. When I left Nigeria, the goal was to become a doctor, or to go come to the U.S. and study medicine and become a doctor. Which, like I said, I haven't ruled that out yet.
Yeah.
And so the foundation was the way of me doing that without an actual PhD or the doctor's degree, doctorate degree. And so I started it as soon as I got drafted, of ways of giving back, not only to Nigeria, but the cities that impacted me the most here in the U.S., Huntsville, Alabama, Louisville, Kentucky, and obviously Houston, Texas. And
Yep.
my dad has always said, charity starts from home, especially the people that, the way you work for, and stuff like
Yep.
that. And so started that with the two divisions of it, the kickoff for kids and the change CATE, changing Africa through education. And all of that is programs here in the cities I just mentioned, and then back home, to help all kids, especially at-risk kids.
Mm.
So we have a partnership with the Play 60, NFL Play 60. I try to get kids I do camps here in Houston, Louisville, Alabama. Did them in Nigeria when I was going to Nigeria. It's all just to get kids to drop the iPads and the fourth nights
Yeah.
for at least an hour
Yep.
and go out and play like we did.
Yeah.
Get
Love
some vitamin D, some sunlight.
it. I love it. They need it too. Come up out of that cool air conditioner. Go out there and get some of that heat,
Yeah,
man.
it's something. It's something. So that's one of the programs, and movies and motivation is another program. I try to get kids from all different origin and creeds and get them together, take them to the movies, talk to them before the movie, watch the movie with them, and then talk to them after the movie, and possibly take them to a restaurant to just go eat and just let them know that they're appreciated and they're worth, and that what life is life, and just speaking to them about positive, negative things, and just trying to encourage them and motivate them. This is the whole point of the movies and motivation. Watch a movie, motivate them, eat. So those are two of the programs, and I have a taco hunger program, which is actually and one of the things we do is a partnership with my church every 2 weeks. The first every second and last Saturday of the month. We're in a partnership with the Houston Food Bank. They come with a truckload of food,
Mm.
and I try to get kind of volunteers to come, and we disperse them, break the food down, put them in crates. The whole community and church knows about it. They line up and they sign up, and we give the food out.
I love that, man. Shout out to the Amobi Okoye Foundation, man. You guys are shifting the perspective of these kids, man. A lot of times, man, I used to say this for me personally. My perspective changed from the environment that I was in when I was able to leave the country, and I went to Spain to play basketball overseas in the Junior Olympics. And so
Oh, I didn't know
that,
that.
yeah, that's a lot of
That's what's
a lot of
up.
people don't know that, man. I played, I represented the United States in the Junior Olympics, man. My eighth
Oh,
grade year
wow.
going into my ninth grade year, but We played in Barcelona, Valencia, and Madrid, right, when we were in Spain. And so when I saw the other kids and how they were living, it put me in a mind space to understand, like, you know what, I have more than I ever thought that I had. That's the first thing. And two, it allowed me to understand that I wasn't a product of my environment, because I lived in A-Leaf, Texas. It's, if you ain't never been to A-Leaf, Southwest, dubs up, never down,
Hey,
love it, but bro, it's some dark sides to that thing.
it's
But
facts.
that environment did not dictate my ability to be able
Right.
to go to that place based off my talent. But my decisions were the thing that allowed me there. So I tell kids all the time that's in those spaces, like, listen, you're not a product of your environment, bro. You're a product of the decisions that you make. And
Facts.
so by you doing what you're doing, you're creating and shifting the perspective of those kids in that environment. So with that being said, the next time you got a camp, bro, let me know, man. I want to come down and support, man,
Okay.
and do whatever I can to help those kids as well. Because that, Houston is my home. So anything I can be a part of to help that type of mission, I'm all
I
for it.
got you for sure, bro. I'll
Um,
let you know.
so with that being said, man, like you've transitioned successfully, man. You have all these different things, investments and things like that are taking place. Can you give me some insight? Not even insight. What is some advice that you might have for athletes that have career interruptions, like you did, right? What advice would you do to help them find their purpose beyond football, or what advice would you give for them to help them find their purpose beyond football? Or sport, because it might not be football
Yeah,
players that's watching,
yeah.
but just
I,
sport
I,
in.
I would say what my dad has always kind of preached to me and growing up was like always listen to everything, and then from there take from it what you feel can benefit you. You know, so when I say listen to anything, whenever people are bringing ideas to you, bringing anything to you, like don't automatically switch it off. Like it's fine. You might not be interested in it, but just
Yeah,
just listen.
yeah,
Listen, and you don't never know from there, the conversation, from that interaction, what it can lead to that can like eventually impact your life.
absolutely. Absolutely. That's good, man. That's about seeking wisdom. Wisdom is being able to hear people and then understand, like, okay, these are the things that I want to apply to my life that I believe is helping me move in my space. I
Exactly.
tell people, man, that your purpose is found at the intersection of your proficiency and your calling. I got that from Myron Golden. But
Mm.
when I dove into it, it was like, okay, well, what is proficiency? I heard him say it, but what is proficiency? And then I started realizing it's like, when we do things as humans, and people are like, my God, I can't, but how did you do that? I can
Mhm.
never do that. And we're looking at them like, bro, that's easy. Like, that's because that's what you're proficient at. It just feels easy. And then your calling is like, for instance, you woke up with this burning desire to say, man, I'm going to help these kids. Like,
Mhm.
I don't care I don't care if I don't get paid for it or whatever, I'm going to do whatever I can. That burning desire, that's your calling. And so right at the intersection
It's gonna
of
keep
that,
you thriving.
that part, that right at the intersection of that is your purpose. So when you're able to define your purpose, now you have to deploy yourself in your purpose, and then, or discover your purpose, define your purpose, deploy yourself into it, and then you can push that into the marketplace, man, and that will sell, because God has given us a certain group of individuals that we're here to serve, and they'll pay for that. So
Hmm.
that's why it's important. I want athletes to know you have a phenomenal platform to be able to leverage, especially in the day of social media. Like, bro, like, it's so simplistic
Try
on how you
different
can
shit.
come on, talk about it.
Try
Come talk
different
about
shit, man. You just never know.
it. Yeah.
My one of the two things my parents said always say to me, and that sticks with me. My mom, she would always say, the people that are doing it out there, they don't have two heads.
Shout out to Mama Okoye.
They don't have two heads.
I
So
tell her, I'll give her credit, but I'm using that one. Come on. Yes.
so somehow they got it done.
Yes.
They don't have two heads. And then my dad, who always say, nobody has monopoly on knowledge.
Mm, come on, man.
Nobody has no monopoly on knowledge. So soak as much as you can and use what parts you feel benefit you. Whenever people were talking to you about anything, showing you anything, just listen and then take from it what you want.
Learn something new. I think the reason why people are in such this depressed state is because you're not understanding that you literally can learn something new every day. Like, why do you stop learning after school, man? No, bro, learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Like, for me, I'm going to learn about the reticular activating system. That's the system within your mind where, you know, like you say, man, I want that Mercedes SS 550 or whatever, that S 550, right? And so you never saw that car, but then all of a sudden that reticular system is activated. Everywhere you go, you see
You
the
see
car,
that?
right? Right. So I'm like, yo, that's fascinating. I never knew the name or the science behind that. That's what I'm gonna learn today. It's like learn something new every day. You never know what thing can help you. So
Facts.
here's something. So I have like I said, I'm a part of a company called the Athlete Alliance, where we're helping athletes in the financial space and wealth management, marketing and branding, and then also mentorship. And this is the part of the segment where I love to grab guys like yourself, guys that have seen financial success, because this ain't coming from no history books, ladies and
Mm-hmm.
gentlemen. This ain't coming from your
Mm-hmm.
colleges and your quote unquote business schools. This is coming from somebody that has made money, done well with his money, and continues to do
Experience.
well. Experience, exactly. We know the numbers. 80% of athletes are financially broke 5 years after retirement. 90% of athletes are financially distressed. I
Mm-hmm.
believe
Mm-hmm.
that moves into the relationship aspect, as it pertains to relationships being destroyed and things of that nature, because of, like, one of the top reasons behind marriages being destroyed is finances. So finances is important. What is some advice that you would give somebody, or specifically athletes, especially because their careers are short, right? I think if you look at baseball, basketball, football, and hockey, all of those career averages are underneath 6 years. What financial advice would you give for athletes to be able to understand how to manage their money to create stability after they're done playing?
Great question. And whenever I speak to student athletes or even pro athletes, when I come across, just like I ran to when I Denelli Hunter
Mm,
this year, he almost broke my record. Yeah, he almost broke our record, our youngest
big,
player record,
big
and
money.
a lot of them. You know, when I talk to them, I tell them what my personal experience was like. My first year in the league, finances wise, like I wasn't the best in the sense that what I learned going into after my first year, my second year, what I started doing is even if it was buying milk, I would get minimum two quotes. How much is Walmart selling it for? How much is Kroger selling it
Yeah,
for? Minimum two.
yeah,
Just the way you don't just jump into the first thing when it comes to expenses,
love it.
buying. Take the time and shop around. Find two quotes and things and evaluate, and then go with the one that makes the most sense and one cheapest. So, like I said, I would tell people like even if it was buying milk, get two quotes, two references on everything. Just jump into instant buying things.
Yeah,
That would be the financial advice I would
I
give.
love that. That's systematic. People might look at that and be like, "What you mean buy milk?" Because you're not listening. You're not listening and understanding the principle. What my brother is telling you is that don't let the first thing be the reaction,
Right.
right? Like do your research, right? Like even when it comes to something as simplistic as buying milk, do your research, man.
Research.
That is so important, because a lot of people, like Mark Brunell is one, John Elway is another one. Man, there's so many guys that have gotten into private equity and real estate and all these things, and it's sexy and it's cool because your name is on it, but they've lost half their fortune, right? I think Emmett Smith made like 60 million and his net worth right now is 18. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like, it's not that these guys are just really great with their money. They were just situations to where they started out so high, and then somewhere between the fall, somebody helped them to be able to say, hey man, let's structure and organize you a particular way. So that's really good, man. Do your research. One that I would tell you is make sure that you have the right team around you, right?
Mm,
You got to
mm,
have the right team, bro. Because like,
that is
just like
huge.
finance is a team sport. Although it's an individual aspect to it, because it's like it's success of financial success and economic success is predicated on what you believe it is. But in order to get there, like anything, man, we need a team. And the reason why I say that is I'll be like, look, man, the son of God had 12 homies. You're not going to do this by yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Man, my girl is on here. I got to give a shout out. I usually don't do this, but we have an individual that has joined on and taking us out right now. My girl, Michelle Carter, who is one of three of the female, if I'm not mistaken, she's one of 3 female U.S. Olympians to medal in the shot put. She is a living legend. Living legend. I'm talking about in all of America. And if I'm wrong, sis, correct me. But I think I read that stat somewhere. So appreciate you joining us, man. Let people know that we're on. And she also has some things that she's doing. So we got to get her on the show. I got to get my sis on the show, man. She said, "Hey, all right, look, hey, you listening to this? All right, Shot Diva, aka Michelle Carter, you next. You coming next down the pipeline. I got to get you on the Gridiron Games. We need a female perspective as well."
Yes.
The only one with gold. Come on, there it is. The only one with gold. You
Kurt,
better talk your talk,
you know
young
what I'm
lady.
saying?
That's a living legend right there. So absolutely. So let me ask you this: reflecting, because we're in the reflection space now. We're talking about money a little bit, right? Reflecting on your experiences, is there any financial advice you wish you would have received earlier in your career?
Any advice? Probably the bitcoins and NFTs and all of that.
We didn't have real friends, Amobi. We didn't have, if we had real friends, somebody would have been researching and said, hey, bro, I got something for you. We didn't have real friends, bro. I tell all my partners, like, if y'all was around me from 08 to 17, you're not my friend, bro. I have now moved you from friend to close associate.
But the thing about it is, they probably would have told us about it then, and we probably still would have been like, "Nah, I ain't a Bitcoin.
Man, then they
I
still would have been
like
close.
to see that cash."
No doubt. I'm telling you right now, if they had did that, then they would have went from close associate to just associate. I'm removing close. Get it off of
Yeah,
here. Like, bro,
and then they would,
Bitcoin,
and then now
my
they would be like,
God.
now they would be like, I told you.
Man, my
Damn,
God. I'll
missed
tell
out.
you one. I'll tell you another one for me, man. And it's just so crazy because I'm in the space now as well. But I wish that somebody would have given me the game on cash value life insurance, because I'm gonna tell you why. It's not about the insurance, it's about the return, and how the return would have created passive income streams for the rest of your life, right? So there's something called illustrations, and this is how you run, and you put numbers in and say, okay, if I put this amount of money in here, what does this look like over this amount of time? Amobi, if I would have just put our Madden checks and our playoff checks into this entity, when I retired, but I retired, so I got it in 08. I retired in 2017, so I played about almost a decade. And in 2020, if I'd have just left that there for 3 more years, I would be pulling in a 6-figure check forever. Now, I'm already good because, shout out to the
It's just
line
the
of
what
duty,
if.
and PNP. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
just that
AK,
what if.
yeah, you
What if
feel
I
me?
would have?
You
Yeah, just
feel me? I
reflecting
got
back. Yeah.
annuities and all. I'm good, right? But like, who? If somebody would have told me that, bro, that is a game changer for a lot of athletes. So I push that with our athletes, man. We get them set up and stuff like that. And then also, I talked to them about, I wish that, because we saw it with Jamar Chase, but I wish I would have known more about the power of disability insurance. Because now what happens is I pay a small little fee for that, right? Like for the year, maybe 5, like depending on how much is covered. So the premium might be 2-3 grand, whatever. You spend that on clubs, right?
Right.
Like, but that coverage is like what, 20 million, 30 million, 40 million. So if you find yourself in a situation to where, hey, I'm affected and I can't do this job anymore. Ryan Shazier, right? Had he had something like that, I don't know if he did, but that's a 30, 40 million dollar check. Yeah. So like
Things we find out every day.
what we don't know. So that's the reason why we started Athlete Alliance, is because those 2 moves like that can set you up beyond the game, no matter if you make it to the league average or not. I'm talking about these
Right.
are things you can do ASAP. As soon as that check hit, take about 15-20% of that, drop it in here, bro, and the other 80 you do what you want with it, right?
Right.
But you're setting yourself up for after the game. So that would have been me, man.
Man, that's impressive. That's
Yeah.
intriguing.
Yeah, so that's we got to tell our athletes, man, when we at that camp, brother. That's what we're talking about. This is the part of the section that I love, man. This is the reflections and the future endeavors aspect, man. Amobi, you were born what, 87?
87.
87.
Yep.
So you boy, you right around that corner, man. Come on. I got.
Get, get,
I'm
get,
gonna
get,
let you
get,
know what
get.
it's like.
I'm getting that. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yep, exactly. You get to that Mike Gundy rant age, exactly, bro. Uh, what would your 30+ year self go back and tell your 18-year-old self just about like what you're going to go through, like any insights or advice you would give yourself, especially when it comes to resilience and adaptability, because that's been your life.
Um, I think it would take to just understand that um family,
Mm,
especially extended family, um will more than likely let you down than actual friends.
interesting. Interesting. Yeah. And you're not the first person that I've heard say that, man. I heard it say that your family and your friends are the ones that change. Your enemies remain the same.
Right. And not necessarily your immediate family, but maybe your extended
Yeah.
family. But yeah, that because once you make it, that the immediate family, they already know they're they're part of that you that made it. The extended family is the one that starts saying, we part of that too. You know what I'm saying? So that extended family part is probably what I would, yeah.
Letting them know, like, hey, man, this is what comes with the territory. You got to set yourself up, type of thing, so you can protect yourself, man. You got a mom and a dad. I'd have made them to know people. Anytime somebody hit me with, hey, bro, I got this idea, man, that's great, bro. I love it, man. Talk to my parents, and they'll talk to you with my financial advisor. We can see what we can do. And as soon as they get to them, they know they might not even make that call.
Exactly
Got to
right.
set up a no person, man. Uh,
Fact.
what here's what I would tell you this. What core lessons just from football or life, health journey included, continue to influence your decisions today?
um I probably say what I've learned from life, especially in football, well, trickle it down to sports and then trickle it down further to football. What I have learned, and I continue to, it becomes more evident to me every day.
Mm,
There's used to be a mantra that said, what have you done for me uh, lately, or what have you done for me before?
mm-hmm.
Life, especially like I said, trickling down to sports and then further down to
Yeah.
football, it's now, what have you already done for me tomorrow?
Wow. Dang. They
Not
ain't
what
even
have
let. They
you
ain't even
done for
let.
me
They ain't even
lately,
letting today or before be
more.
a. Yeah. Okay.
What
Gotcha.
have you already done for me tomorrow? That's how I'm trying. I'm seeing. I've come to understand life in football and life in sports and further down to football. Like you have to understand, like it's not. Yeah, it's. What have you done for me tomorrow?
Yeah. I love that. Like, yeah, man. Like people look at people and there's a perceived value that they put on others, right? There's a perceived expectation. Like when I go into different rooms, obviously my reputation and what I've done that precedes me. But I always tell people often, like, don't allow your reputation to place you somewhere that your character can't keep you. So work on yourself intrinsically, for sure. And then by doing that, those opportunities like you talked about, the what have you done for me tomorrow, those opportunities are able to happen not only for you but for those that you're looking to serve, because people want to be around you to even be able to give you those particular opportunities in the first place. um for individuals that's watching, you talked about your passions. Are there any other things that you're doing right now that you want people to know about? If there's anything you want them to go check out, anything like that, now's your time, man. Shoot your shot, let the people know, because we'll have this on my YouTube channel as well.
Indeed, indeed. Well, definitely still working on all the foundation things. Got the weekend, the football weekend, the birthday weekend coming up in June here. Um, just my foundation website. I'm about to start uploading some stuff on there. So the Amobi Okoye Foundation .com. Can always find information about that. I still have these aspirational goals of popularizing football back home in Africa. So still working some things on that aspect and trying to start getting the masses to be able to educate themselves about the sport free.
Right.
That's what I'm working with the NFL now, trying to get all kind of educative stuff to the masses back home, because the interest level is definitely there. And ever since I got drafted in the first round, it's been a Nigerian or African player drafted in the first round ever since me. Like,
Wow.
so it's very evident. It's in our blood. It's just the platform and the opportunity that needs to be presented for them. So I feel like that's my calling since I left Nigeria, was to somehow impact back home, some way, somehow. So I'm trying to do that.
Well, I'll say this as it pertains to Nigerians and their impact on football. You have the Alex Okafor, Charles Aminahu. Now my dude Mojo, I think his name
Yeah,
is.
I know his dad. His dad is a pastor in my
Well,
church.
well, now his dad is the not only the pastor at your church, but is the father of a Super
Well,
Bowl
yeah,
champion that played
yeah.
on the
I remember
defensive
when he
line.
told me they had drafted him, and I was like, he was like, yeah. I spoke to him and like just mentored him a little bit and stuff, and now he's like, "We got a ring, man."
You got a ring, man. It's beautiful, man. And I always listen. Anytime my Texas got, it's catch-22 because Charles. Look, man, Charles already got one, but I know what he was fighting for, that dynasty, right? That's crazy.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
But at the same time, man, it's like, hey, if you had to lose, you're gonna lose to your boy that went there too. And I experienced that. I won with
Right,
Pittsburgh, right,
right.
and then lost against Green Bay, and Jamaica was over there. So it's like, my dog got one too. It's all good. The last question that I have for you, man, we always ask our guests to impart, wisdom on our show to anybody that's going to see this, especially the athletes. And so, but this doesn't have to be athlete related. This can just be human and people related, right?
Mhm.
For individuals that are listening to this right now, and they're at a crossroads in their life as it pertains to, should I go after that purpose, or do I feel like I'm qualified, or anything like that, right? In their own lives, what message or guidance would you have for that particular individual?
I would say definitely put God first.
Mm,
Put God first, but it's just like it's like cooking. You got to have all the ingredients in it, to get that perfect taste of chemistry or whatever. So God is the first ingredient you put in there, and then just be proactive with things like with that, and being proactive in God is the ultimate equation to success. This is what I would say.
I love that, man. I love how you stand on your faith. Well, look, Amobi, I'll say this, man. I titled this Unbreakable, and this was about, you being the football prodigy to overcoming the unthinkable, bro. And you have truly done that in an amazing way, from how you've battled back to how you've gone into the league to how you battled back to even the things that you're doing now, man. You truly are unbreakable, and we understand now that the way that has been is
We
because
all
of your
are, bro.
faith.
We
Yeah.
all are.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you, brother. I'll leave our audience with this, man. Sport is not who you are, it's what you do. And at the end of the day, when you align with the divine, everything will be fine. So for my special guest, Mr. Amobi Okoye, and for your man, Tony the Tycoon, we are out. Amobi, I appreciate you so much, brother.
Man, I appreciate you, bro. Man, God put people like what his chances would have been locker room teammates in Dallas, and and this would happen. Like it's God, bro. It's God.
Absolutely. Absolutely, brother. Amen. Well, blessings to you, bro. We'll talk soon.
All right, peace.
All right, later.